You look at the racist piece of shit on the front cover of this one. Holy. It makes it all about race. Now, as many of y'all know, I have fought for the rights of black people, white people, red people, orange people, yellow people, even fucking purple people. That's right, I have actually fought for the rights of purple people. Of course, that depends on what you consider purple people, because I found out about a group called Purple People that's dedicated to people who are, well, not into things that I support. And I'm not referring to those ones. Now, this feller here wanted to call me a homophobe. See, isn't that always these fucking pussies' excuse? Oh, you don't like that word. You don't like the word assholes either. You don't like bigots either. Guaranteed, if I treat this proud boy, that's what he wanted to call me, a proud boy. If I treat this proud boy the way he treats me, he's gonna play like I'm being racist. This dude is racist to the fucking core, born and bred. He is a racist to the core. Being woke in this country does not mean a damn thing to me. You're conscious? No, the fuck you ain't. Not if you are not willing to recognize the other victims because they the wrong damn color. See, this young man here is about popularity. Oh, I'm a black man. It's okay for me to be racist. It's okay for me to do whiteface like Jamie Foxx. But it's not okay for Sean David Schwartz try to sound like a racist asshole from the South with a girl voice. I'm not allowed to make fun of them racist rednecks. Cause if I do, you gonna pretend like I'm one of them. You don't understand satire, son. Now, of course, what's this guy do? There's a very, very pointed post from a very horrible group called the ACLU. The ACLU ignore the most victimized people in the country. They will not fight for men's rights. Who are the most likely people to be killed by police? That would be men, 96%. Who's more likely to be killed by the police? That black man in a house or me on the streets? Statistically, I have about a 1 in 960 chance of being killed by the police every single year. A black man has a, what is it, a 1 in 200,000 chance of being killed by a police officer in his lifetime? Of course, if they type that it's 1 in 1,000, then magically it must be true because none of you are going to look it up. You're woke. Woke means you believe any of these fucking idiots just because of the color of their skin. Now, of course, well, the LGBT community whines that they're the most marginalized in the country. Members of the LGBT community in houses take their shit out on all the homeless. I do mean all the homeless. We're blamed as a group. When homosexual males decided to shove their dicks up my asshole as a child, and I tell on those homosexuals, that does not mean that I hate homosexuals. Turning in your predators does not denote hate. And anybody who tells you that does not deserve the right to speak. They should have their First Amendment rights taken away. How do you like that? saying that you should have your rights taken away. See, what did this racist asshole here want to do? He wanted to try to call me a homophobe. That's right. After all these years of me being abused for being a homosexual, all these years of being verbally abused for being homosexual, all of these years of being physically and sexually abused for being a homosexual. Yeah, you're goddamn right. I have no clue at all, and I must be a homophobe, right? Of course, what are you going to do? You're going to use that satire there. Like a little bitch, you're going to pretend that that little bit of piece of satire there is me being serious. That's what little bitches do. That's what being woke is. It's playing fucking victim and victimizing the other victims who aren't a part of your group. Telling the other victims that they're not people. Well, none of you are people to me because I don't matter to any of you. I'm a homosexual to you straight people. I'm a heterosexual to the LGBT community. I'm a homophobe to this racist asshole. And his stuff shows that, yeah, he's a racist asshole. He wanted to pretend like I'm a horrible person because I'm the only one fighting for equality while he's busy being a racist and accusing people who are harmed their entire life for being a homosexual. And this guy wants to call me a homophobe. Holy shit. And this special fella, I wonder if he's going to take a look at all of the abuse from the other side. That's right. What do they call me in Chapel, Nebraska? What was my name for years in Chapel, Nebraska? N-word lover, but they didn't say N-word. You know what they call Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day? I'll give you a hint, it's also got the N-word in it. When people use the N-word around me, I don't care what color you are, I'm going to tell you I don't like that word, because I don't like that word. See, while you woke boys, you like that? While you woke boys is busy playing victim, were you allowed to rage? Am I allowed to rage? Do you see my disabilities? Do you see my homelessness? Do you? Do you see me as who I am? Or who you perceive me to be? You see a white guy. The KKK sees a Jew. You see a homophobe. Heterosexuals, that's not what they see. They see a homosexual. To them, I'm a homosexual. To you, I'm a homophobe. To them, they harm me in their excuses that I'm a homosexual. You want to be harmful. Your excuse is that I'm a homophobe. Do you see my back injuries? Do you see the abuse that I have taken over the years from law enforcement and the local communities everywhere that I've gone to find missing people of every color, every race, every religion, to protect victims of every race, every color, and every religion? Let me tell you something about Rain Etkin. This is a 300-pound person who identifies as a woman, has a penis, and raped his sister in New Mexico. I'm not going to blame that on the entire LGBT community, but I'm not going to pretend it didn't happen just because it doesn't fit a false narrative. How dare we try to turn in members of the LGBT community who committed sexual crimes because it will hurt the LGBT community. How dare we? How dare we white people who are victims of police brutality try to turn it in because it takes away from the black community? Does your racism and ignorance know no bounds? I'm against special rights. That is for certain. Now, these special rights are supposed to be to balance it out and make us equal. The problem isn't the laws. The problem is law enforcement. The problem is poverty. Who is easiest to victimize? A person in a house or a person on the streets? You say, oh, a person on the streets doesn't have anything to take. Really? You want to sell that narrative? When police do horrible things to the homeless every single day, you complain that those homeless people exist. When they confuse a black man like Sammy Leon Lawrence IV or Zaid Atkinson for a homeless person, you'll make every excuse why that black person was in the right. When a black homeless person doing the same thing you'll say is in the wrong. BLM ignores black victims like Mark Swanigan, Mark Townsend. They ignore black victims. BLM ignores these black victims too. When the police confused Sammy Leon Lawrence IV for a homeless person and gave him the standard procedure for a homeless person who was recording the police committing crimes against the homeless, it's to abuse us right away. They wouldn't have done that to Sammy Leon Lawrence IV if I had been heard when he assaulted me. How about Zaid Atkinson, another black man? And of course, his looks are what's important. Look what people judged on that. Oh, he's so hot. He's so good looking. Out of the 7 people that Officer Waylon Lolotai assaulted on camera, the only 2 who got satisfaction were the 2 who were pampered fucking housies. Magically, because they're in a house, their rights were violated. But if you're violated into homelessness, you have no rights. Ask Mark Swanigan. Ask Marvell Harper. Well, you want to be a racist, and you want to show that you are not inclusive at all, that you've already decided that you're going to play victim. You're going to play victim, and you're going to try to change the entire English language to do it. Calil, you live in Colorado. Look up the name Natalie Marie Bollinger. You think you got it bad? What you see is a white privilege check when you see me. Homeless people, disabled people, and men all need that speech. Calil, did you get that speech? But hey, I know your white friend's going to run when they see the cops. But you're black and they will shoot you in the back. Don't be stupid. Do not run from the cops. Well, that goes for us too. 22% of those killed by police in 2019 were black. 24% of those killed by police last year were black. That's a 2% increase, and that is quite significant. That's out of a population of approximately 60 million people. In 2019, 49% of those killed by police were homeless. Last year, 60% of those killed by police were homeless. Out of a population size of less than 600,000 people. But also, you have to pay attention to the fact that we've got approximately 7 million people incarcerated in the United States, and 81% of those people were homeless when incarcerated, or homeless when arrested, I should say. The majority of black people killed by police are homeless. The ones BLM gives a shit about are the ones in houses. The ones on the streets don't matter. They're not going to bring up their names or fight for their rights. They're just going to use the numbers and statistics to throw in everyone's face. But still, I fight back against bigots of every color, every race, every religion. If you're going to make humanity about your skin color, you are a racist. If you're going to make humanity on popularity, what's popular? What is popular? Should we allow every homosexual out there who finds us attractive to rape us because they're woke? Are we required to take Viagra because some fat woman feels that we owe it to them to have sex with them, but we find them disgusting physically? What about that guy that doesn't find her disgusting physically? Does she owe it to him to put out? No. Then it's pressuring. This man right here is showing that he is a racist. That any excuse to rage and hate on people. Meanwhile, he ain't going to fight for my rights. He's already decided that I am the bad guy. I am the enemy. Anything that I say, he's going to try to wokedly twist into some bullshit. Well done, son. By the way, don't ever call me boy. Boy. Don't. I'm not your boy. Boy. You want to call me a proud boy? You proud boy? What we doing here is called equality. You want to insult me? Or are we going to work together to stop these fucking cops? You want to keep name calling and selling false narratives and trying to change the English language to make you a poor innocent victim? Oh, you mean like the cops when they torture a black man? But they call it, what? What do they call it? Do you even know this one? Pain compliance. That's right. They changed the word and it's magically okay. When you disabled, you got rights, but they changed the word to mentally ill. And magically it's okay for people to poke fun and be bullies and be mean. Jesus. That's what I get thrown at me too. Excuses to look away. The Jesus. Calil. Was it the Jesus that got rights to change in this country? Was it the Jesus that kicked off the Civil War? No. Matter of fact, the Jesus was used as an excuse to keep slaves in this country because there's instructions in the Bible on how you're supposed to treat slaves. The 13th Amendment didn't get rid of slaves. It made slavery legal for state ownership. That's how them chain gangs got started. How much do you know about your history, son? End of the Civil War. 13th Amendment passes, making it illegal for anybody who is breaking the law and it is incarcerated. Anyone who is found guilty can be used by the state as slave labor. There are still black people picking cotton in cotton fields in Alabama Do you know why? Because black homeless people don't fucking matter to anybody. White homeless people don't matter to anybody. And the first laws that were passed, because of the 13th Amendment, the first laws that were passed in the South were to make it illegal for any activity of homelessness to be illegal. It was illegal to be homeless. And you've got 4 million black people that are now all homeless, all broke, none own property. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is my favorite hero of the 20th century. But he was not effective. No, he was effective at getting looked at. But it was the tactics of Malcolm X. Another Nebraskan, that's right. Another Nebraskan. You know how many times I've been locked up in the last 6 years for speaking up about police brutality? You have any idea how many times I have literally had to walk in and turn in my predators by name to that predator, him or herself? BLM don't care, I'm white. LGBT don't care, to them I'm a hetero. Heterosexuals don't care, to them I'm a homosexual. Blacks don't care, to them I'm a white. Right? Is that a rude thing to say? Is it inconsiderate? Yes, it is. There are black people who talk to me like I'm a human being, that don't call me cracker and make everything about my skin color, that don't try to change the English language to pretend that I am some sort of person who's victimizing them. Not every black person is a predator. Look up the name John Brown. Tell me who he is and what he did. Look up the name Abraham Lincoln. Tell me who he is and what he did. And take a look at the Black Panther Party for self-defense and what they did with their firearms, their Second Amendment in the California Senate, when their First Amendment rights were entirely and completely shattered and violated. What is it that changed? It wasn't the voice of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It was following the tactics of Malcolm X, who was born in the very same state as I was. He was born in Omaha, Nebraska. Now I'm going to ask you kindly not to call me boy again. I'm going to ask you kindly not to call me a homophobe again. But I know that asking you not to do something, when you have so much hate and rage and you're pointing it in the wrong woke-ass direction, holy shit. I don't want to disrespect you by calling you boy. Don't disrespect me by calling me boy. I don't want to disrespect you by calling you a racist, but you is. Now this is a picture of you. The next one's going to be some of our screenshots and a bit of your hatred. You're victim blaming and victim shaming. You choosing to take advantage of the most marginalized groups in our society and showing that by your pointed ignorance, intentionally crafted ignorance, which means you know you're completely full of shit.